Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for May 31st through June 6th, 2021. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone who is watching this channel right now and who may be new members to our Angel School community, and you're possibly just viewing us for the very first time. So I just want to thank you all for, yesterday I made an announcement about the passing of one of my beloved uncles, my Uncle James, and he was married to my mother's sister, my Aunt Loretta. And he had been sick for over a year before the COVID began, and so he died with complications unrelated to COVID, but he was just an extraordinary person and a powerful mentor. He was a gentle man, a gentle soul, a compassionate soul, but he was brilliant. He was a very bright man. He was an educator, and he worked in the Richmond, Virginia public school system, and he also taught adult education. He also worked as a chemist as part-time work. So he's just a brilliant man, and we are mourning his loss. So today you're going to be seeing the video posted earlier than usual on Friday, because I'm going to be leaving as soon as I'm done with the recording, and going there for the services on tomorrow, Saturday, May 29th at 11 p.m. So I just ask that you send your prayers and your blessings to my family, as well as their only surviving child, his son, and his wife, my aunt. So let's take a deep breath together. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more thing too. I just want to make you aware as well that I will not be doing the daily card messages until I kind of get settled and catch up when I get back over the weekend. So all of my client readings will continue. I've not had to cancel any of those, but I will need time to do the monthly Angel Scope reading, since I was going to do that this week, but this all came up. So I'll be doing that next week instead of the daily card messages, and as soon as I'm done, I'll start working on the daily card messages. So also, I forgot too as well, we are working with a new deck, which you've seen on the monthly videos, but this is the Angel Wisdom Tarot by Radley Valentine, and so there are some unique things about this deck that he included. Of course, the major arcana has archangels associated with each card, and then in the minor arcana there are associations written on the bottom of the card in the corner of the archangel and the major arcana card that has some kind of relationship to the energy of the minor arcana cards. Okay, so major arcanas are just the big themes or over the influences that are moving through your life, or those big soul lessons, while the minor arcana reflect the day-to-day, how you are processing, or how those lessons are influencing you, or just situations that we encounter more on a day-to-day awareness, okay, and consciousness. Okay, so let's take a deep breath again. And just release. And then take another deep breath and just breathe into your heart space. And just allow your heart to just allow yourself to be embraced by the tremendous amount of love, divine love, that is radiating towards you from your I am presence and your source. And this beautiful pink white light energy that just envelops you. And as your angels and Archangel Shamael, the archangel who's in charge of your heart chakra, this fifth dimensional chakra, embraces you. And they were writing the words like lessons and life. They didn't say life lessons, but they wrote it like lessons and then life. So it's almost a feeling that things happen in life that kind of teaches. We have our lessons and then we have our lives. I feel like it's a little strange the way they would put that, but we have, and I think sometimes maybe we're struggling with that, when we know that there are things that we're working through, but we have life and life is moving and things are happening, and sometimes we just don't have the time to wrestle with our lessons. It's like having homework and you don't have time to get it done because you have all these chores and tasks that need to be done. And so somehow they're asking you to find time to be, to have that balance. To have that, or to strike that balance in life where you make time for yourself, to nurture yourself, to give your chance, so those lessons are like wounds, right? And we incur these wounds and they have to heal. Like we have to cleanse them and we have to take care of them so they can heal properly. And you may, scratch yourself or cut yourself by accident, and you have tasks and things that need to be done. And in that moment, it seems inconvenient. It all seems inconvenient to you, to what you need to focus on and what you need to get done. The obligations, the people who are counting on you or placing demands on you to get things done because, they're employing you. So, and how do you find the time to always give equal value to nursing your wounds and your own personal needs? And so so there's those lessons and then there's life, right? And we have to keep our eyes on both, because those lessons also set up what kind of life you could possibly have. They seem like they're getting in the way and then they're a waste of time, but it's almost like they're a strategy for allowing new possibilities of experience for you to have in your life. So they can facilitate a lifestyle change. And so if you've been praying for a life makeover, these lessons are somehow helping to recalibrate and reorchestrate that what you're doing that is maybe disallowing you to fulfill your purpose or your dreams and your goals. So finding the balance in all of this. And they show me sort of a tree, but it's looked like an umbrella. The branches, and this is for me a symbol of protection over you, that the universe has you under its umbrella of protection. And they're writing the word casa as in house. So there, and I guess it's a sense of the trunk of the tree of this umbrella that had a trunk was, a modest size. It's not the widest or the most, but it's definitely a strong, secure. So it means that you're really getting a balanced channel of frequencies. Like you're allowing that connection to your I am presence to flow up and down from the earth and through you, and from source through you into the earth and all of that. Um, but I guess they're reminding you too of this, the state of your essence that's being channeled through that trunk of the tree is your home base. Your vibrational alignment is your home base, and what how that's cultivated depends on the balance between how the cultivation of it, the strength of it, the fortitude, all that depends on this balance of being engaged in life and also being engaged in the care of the soul. So it's a very interesting point that they're trying to help you. And, they're writing the word messages, and it's very important that you affirm this alignment and you nurture it, because this is how you receive the ideas, the solutions, the understanding to perceive, to help you to see the choices that are best for you. It keeps you open to the spectrum of possibilities, of opportunities for you. And when we get cut off from our soul and get focused only in the other aspect of life, then we're putting ourselves in a restricted position, because now we are functioning with limitations, limits that sort of leave out of the equation all of this divine support in terms of guidance and messages to help with your thought process. It's sort of like your spiritual side is an enhancement to your thought process, to your heart, it enhances every aspect of your life. It really is the icing on the cake. And so if we only focus on the physical world and our task and routines, and then we are missing out on this enhancement that just makes everything so much more delicious. It makes the whole experience more, it amplifies everything in a way that is inspiring and pleasurable, as they write the word orgasm in front of me. So it's really important that we do nurture both. All right, let's take a look at the Archangel message for this week. All right, it's Archangel Metatron. And this message is to prioritize, okay? And that makes a whole lot of sense. So, your soul is your priority, your purpose. This is like your directive. This is where you get your sense of direction from. And then all the other things, the task, these are the things that help you to fulfill and work towards the goals that you wish to achieve. But you do have to prioritize. And I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but the ego likes to do what I call collage. So it'll make every task that's on your list in your head, all of a sudden, all of them are important. It'll take even your top 10 that may not need to be done right now, but it will focus in on that like they are all immediate needs, and then leave you with this sense of, what do I do now? What do I do next? And this is because you are sort of getting cut off from the network of oneness. Now, they showed me, and I hope I'm not going to be bumping things around as I do this, the Archangel. I hear a little ring in my ear as I get ready to say her name. And this is a new Jercisa, or Gercisa, I think it's Jercisa, from Diana Cooper's Archangel Oracle cards, which I know I haven't used yet because I'm still working with it. But I'm going to pull this card out because I saw her name. And very powerful energy. I can only tell you, and I want to take the time to read through the book, but I'm going to tell you my experience. And when I say you lose a connection to the network of oneness, and this whole thing of the ego collaging, and then you don't have a sense of purpose. Now, the two times that where I was, looking for new roommates, and it was this whole situation where I had a whole bunch of other things going on, like really important things, like when I had to go home and clear my mom's house, and this was like all in a crunch of 2 weeks. And when this energy, the card came up for me and I tuned in, all of a sudden it was like I was connecting to a network where I was getting nothing during a pandemic, and all of a sudden I had options. And I noticed it happened again. So I don't know what or how the author has connected him with this archangel, but this is what has happened for me. And she came through. And so if you ever feel as though you are losing a connection to your network, wherein you can't get, it feels like you're blocked and you can't draw to you what you need. It's almost as if what I'm hearing in my head now is like she cleared the drain, the pipes where everything was kind of clogged up, and nothing was able to get through. And when I called in that energy, it just cleared the drain, and everything that was, to get to me, was meant for me, it was able to get through. Okay, I don't know what experience you're going to have. This is just my personal experience. It's like the one with Mother Mary. The relationship I have with her is that she's always shown me when she appears, somebody's looking for a job, and that there's one on the way, and she helped me as well. In dreams, she came to me, and before I got jobs, I was applying to jobs and as a teacher years ago, and she appeared in a dream 3 times, and it happened. So that is my experience, and I'm just sharing that with you. So you can call upon Archangel Jercisa, and you just ask her, just know that she'll do this for you. And in the meditation, what you can do is really have this sense of this enormous ray, like a funnel of light, just channeling through all of your chakras on every level of your being, straight down through the earth, and it connects into the ley lines of the earth all around, and then up, so into the network of oneness. And just be aware of this and be guided with her, by her. But you can focus your intention on what your priority is, or to have your priorities come into focus, or to help unclog whatever is inhibiting you, so that you can have access, you can be on the grid. It's like almost a feeling like when we're off the grid and we can't get, like we didn't have a cell phone or something and we couldn't get to anybody. This is the sense that I had. It was like that, like she was my cell tower all of a sudden, and I had access to the entire internet, but in this case, the entire network of oneness, where I don't know how it works, but it just did. Okay, so I get a sense that she wants to come through to help you with the priority that you have, and so that you don't get stuck and not be able to proceed Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. So, been a little clumsy today. All right, so let's take a look. So with Archangel Metatron, who is overseeing, so when Archangel Metatron comes in, this means that he's overseeing the ascension process for the entire planet. So this means that when he comes in, there is an important aspect of your life in this week, or role that you will be performing or be placed in, that where you will be sort of that ascension service station. This came up with a client this week, like a gas station in the desert, but you're like this ascension service station of these high frequencies, where you might be placed in that role to either be of service to others and giving them that boost of ascension frequency, or you are going to be getting an ascension boost in this week. Okay, so it's really important to try to remain as connected and to tap into those higher possibilities, those higher bandwidths of consciousness, in order to resolve or to bring fulfillment to whatever it is that you're working on. All right, so let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. All right, so this is the Two of Fire. So the symbols are just like the other deck that we're working with. They weren't written out in words, but just symbols. So this is Two of Fire, the Two of Wands, and there's the Archangel Zadkiel, and the key number is the Temperance, 14. It's about that balance, right? All right, so the number 2 is also about that. This card is about what you want to do, your strategy, your plans, the choices that are available to you at this time, and the impact of those choices on the world. So I also see this as a card of contemplation about the the impact you want to make on the world, the way that you want to influence the world or influence your world. It's an important, you're like an important crossroads where your actions will have this lasting effect and tremendous impact on your future and all those who will come across you on that path, right? And so this card shows here that, the idea of bringing others, partnership, bringing others, collaborating with others, or, working with others to allow this to happen. And, you can't be in all places at once. We all have our strengths, we all have our gifts and our talents, our skills and our abilities, and so does everyone else, and these things can complement. So here is where a partnership of this sort really can enhance. It's like giving that enhancement idea again that we're talking about before, so that you don't have to feel the burden of all of those things. And the thing is once you can relieve your stress, the ego no longer has something to push against. So therefore the resistance will ease. And so think about this in life. When you have you have life, you have stuff that has to be done, right? And then you need this balance of spirit, of alignment, this sense of pleasure. You should be able to enjoy life as you are performing these tasks. And when tension and stress comes in, it's a sign that you need to look for alternatives to alleviate that tension or stress, so that at the end of this suit, we see the 10 of Wands, that if you put too much on the self, that the body and the self can become, can feel a sort of a, can be overburdened, meaning your health can be compromised, and the spirit can lose its enthusiasm. It runs out of energy before getting there to where you're going. And so it's really important to be smart, to work smart at the earliest stage of any endeavor. Now the fire suit will usually highlights our spirit, our like our career, the things that we're passionate about, our beliefs and our goals and dreams. So it gives us a sense of where you're focusing at the beginning of the week and where we need to really put our focus. So if it was the Two of Cups, then it would mean, and we got this message, then it would mean we need to put our focus on relationships, that maybe we're neglecting them, and that we need to make better choices. It was the Two of Cups. You understand? So this is really clear guidance for you, and let that, if it triggers anything for you in terms of clarity, then listen and proceed. Okay, so now we have the Chariot, which just, to me, the Chariot sort of exemplifies this message here. It's so similar. And you can see that on the lower corner, left corner, it's the Archangel Metatron. So we have Metatron coming in again. And really it's the same similar message. It says rewards come from hard work, successfully balancing many priorities at once. Determination and willpower, public recognition. So you really feel like there's this pressure, that there's maybe you're thinking to yourself, this is what coming to you, is like to get yourself out there in order to be recognized. So it's really important to get something going, because this is the opportunity when people are looking, and people are looking for you, that you might, it's like cross paths with the right people and to create the right opportunity. But then all these other little things come up, the things that somebody else could do to enhance you, to help you, to give you that boost, and you could boost each other together to get where you're both going. And so, this card usually has this one person at the charioteer, so you may think like, yeah, I'm focused on my goal, I'm trying to win the race. But in this sense, you have a team. The charioteer has a team, right? Just like a race car, they have a team of people of mechanics and all kinds of people who watch over different aspects of what that is being done. I'm sure it's the same thing with horses or any kind of thing. So there is a team behind this person, but behind the charioteer, and it takes that team or reliance upon that team for you to succeed in what you're doing, to help you to stay focused, to give you that boost and support to sort of enhance and give you the feedback necessary to enhance your determination, your convictions. So they're writing out the word successful, in the sense, I get the sense you're going to be successful, but you need to really focus in on what's important. And they want you to focus on your strengths and rely on others to boost where your strengths are not as prominent. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. So we have a lot of fire energy here. So we have the Knight of Fire, and you can see he's racing towards his mission. The Knight is impulsive. So this is a card definitely saying, this is not the time to be thinking, right? And to be worried about the risks. This is not the time for that. This is a time to follow your impulses, to focus on your passion, the thing that really just gets you going the most, where you're so excited, so much enthusiasm, where the momentum of energy is so high, you could almost fly like this chariot. right? This is what you need to pay attention to, because we need, this is the universe's momentum behind you. It's all that energy, and it's like wind behind your sails. This is where you need to be focused. Don't focus on that other stuff that's kind of moving slow and maybe steady, but it doesn't need your attention as much as this does, because this is where all the movement is. This is where you light up. This is where you're most um, happy. And this is where you're feeling the most hope, because of everything that's opening up. Possibilities and opportunities open up. Your mind is popping off in this kind of a state. And when your mind is popping off, the network, you're tuned into the network. So when you call upon Archangel Josiah, it's when all that, if you don't have any of this going on right now, when you call upon her and Archangel Metatron, and everything starts to pop off in your head like ideas, go with it. Just fly. Think later, because this is how you quantum leap ahead. This is how you just shift right out of something and into something that's what you really deserve. Okay? So really, really pay attention to that. All right, and I'm going to take the card I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck. And it's the 9, and that's that success. All right, this is the 9 of Pentacles, but they have chosen a leaf. Or this is actually 9 of Earth, because this is elements. So, all right, there's no little snail. There's usually a little snail in this card, in the traditional card. Because it kind of reminds that they're the little insects that can come and eat everything. So you gotta keep maintenance. Since I've arrived, I can relax. I can enjoy the fruits of my labor. And what I'm getting about this card is an underlying message is that don't forget that life was meant to be pleasurable at every stage, and you can choose by the way you see the world. You make the decision whether to enjoy what you're doing or to be miserable while you're doing it. I don't care if X person does this or that. It's your choice to give them your power by giving them space and conversation inside of your head. And inside of your head, your mind is also where your imagination that really just sort of churns out these possibilities, and it just imagines all kinds of wonderful things. At the same time, can also imagine the worst. And all of that is about how you practice. That's your spiritual practice. How you practice responding to life and the lessons, and how you take care of the lessons. Now, it's interesting because we think about lessons, and I don't know if this is going to make any sense, but it's coming through my head. Homework is for practice. Homework is given to the student to help them to practice the skill. It's not supposed to be focused on the point of failure. Am I going to fail or mess this up? It's there to give you really, I know, when I was great at teaching, I think there was a debate at one point about whether we should be grading homework or not. And I would say no. But the only reason I would say to grade, I would say graded but not counted. And I would have some kind of other incentives, reward incentives for it if you were doing well at making progress throughout then I would do something there, like make it count, or something, if you were making progress. But the whole point is not to be worried about failing, but to be focused on improving myself or developing that strength in that skill And so when a lesson happens in your life, when a lesson comes in your life, most times it's the kind of person who doesn't do the homework. To me, this is just coming to me right now from the angels, that lessons don't have to be like the way that we all seem to have the experience of the lesson. We experience the lesson like a pop quiz because we didn't study and we didn't practice our homework. We didn't study and we didn't practice. Now, if you practice your homework, you don't have, when you studying shouldn't be so difficult, because the practice, the routine, the repeating over and over again is the studying. Actually, studying the homework prepares you. It is the studies. But we think of studying as like, okay, I'm going to now have to cram at the end and put all this in my head. And what we do with lessons is we cram. We know one's coming and we cram. Or one catches us off guard, a pop quiz is given to us, and then we crash. And so if you saw a situation in your life, let's say you see this person and you recognize this pattern, and then because I know this for sure, like it's like you see the pattern and then you keep responding the same way, which is panic, fear. And if you would practice a new behavior, talk it out, think it out, whatever you do, draw it, and practice that strategy so that you implement a new response. When that lesson comes again, you would be better at it. So do your homework. Now, homework does not mean, for most people, they like, oh, I got to do more work. That means like I failed. Homework is for practicing a skill. It's not about worrying about failing. Has nothing. The universe doesn't even think like this, but you and I do. You want to change something? Give yourself homework. A simple skill, a simple new type of response to an old problem. And just keep practicing it. Give yourself exercises. Think about the different situations that this shows up. And as if you were giving advice to somebody else, how would you enhance this? But you need to be unblocked to have that enhancement from the higher self, that care, in order to get this kind of guidance, have this kind of teacher guidance at your side while you are doing your homework. Because the universe is always standing beside you. You have a 24-hour guide, teacher, spiritual teacher beside you in the universe, helping you with your homework. But when the lesson is coming, you can see the lessons upon you, you don't go and do homework. You don't break it down and say, how am I going to do this differently? How can I solve this equation with a new habit differently? And then you go get up the next morning, I don't have time, pop quiz, panic, and then you react worse than you know, and then you feel like you failed. And the only reason you have that feeling is because, you could have done your homework, and it would have prepared you to feel confident, to feel capable. This is truly mind-blowing for me to even be saying this, because I haven't had this thought ever. And I hope it's the same for you. The approach and our spiritual practice. This is what spiritual practice really is. It's where the homework is, so that the lessons and life don't seem like they are conflicting and creating suffering and misery. They come together. The major arcana and the minor arcana do this perfectly. There's a major arcana theme usually always in our life, and then there's these day-to-day interactions in the minor arcana that shows how they are unfolding in your life, or how they may be triggering you, etc. So when you work with your your tarot or however you do this, think about these dynamics as you're working through. But your goal is to take pleasure, to enjoy. And the only way you can enjoy life is to do the homework. That's how that's how any of us succeeds. We did the homework. We gave attention and detail to something. And we structured ourselves because we had the passion, the desire, the will, and the plan, the idea. And we worked together with the universe and with those who are around us. And when we saw we had a weakness, we didn't scream or we didn't beat up on ourselves. We just, because we were inspired by this and we wanted to be engaged in this, we just found a way to enhance that, to refine that, and to keep making it better. That's why it's so important for the arts that every child learns something, especially music, because the practice, you learn to practice and get better. It was just sitting right there in front of us, these things. The arts is so important on so many levels. I think it really teaches us to be the whole spiritual being that we're meant to be, if you think about it. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings. And I did forget to, if you're still watching me at this point, for the month of June, my angel readings are still, the special offer is still available for $77, the half-hour reading, but for 1 full hour. So you can go to my page, theangelschool.com/services page, and just select the half-hour reading as is. And within 24 hours, I will send you a confirmation email noting the special offer for the month of June for 1 full hour, the half hour for 1 hour. And there will be instructions in there for you to submit your availability to me. So just stick with the email. Everything is there that you need. And if when you get it, the confirmation email, even if you're not ready to submit your availability right away, just let me know I got it, because I think we're in Mercury retrograde, I thought, but if we're not, that's great. But if we are, let's be aware. Okay. All right, so have a beautiful week and God bless you.